Welcome to the new cutting edge in strategy backtesting. Introducing the new Diamond Backtesting and Walk Forward Manager from Professional Software Solutions. In our segment today, we will introduce you to the Walk Forward, which defines how you want to break down the full backtesting range 1 year, for example, into smaller walk forward segments. We will open again with the opt button here, the walk forward setup module. We are now at the third section here, defining the periods. Initially you probably just want to select a single period. For example, here 5 runs, dividing the whole range into 5 runs with 25% out of sample section versus the 100% in sample. You can also see how that will look in terms of dates when you click on view periods. Then you see a spreadsheet where you see the 5 runs, and then on the last date it will arrange it that the last date is then the close of the in sample, so that then the first out of sample is your first future date, where you would then get the most current walk forward parameters. Here you see we had 5 runs, that comes out to 160 days with 25% out of sample, that's 40 days. And here are the dates. Here's the start of the sample data, June 2nd 2005, ending November 8th, and then the out of sample of course starts like the next day, November 9th to December 18th, and then everything shifts by that 40-day amount. So now we are on July 12 and going through December 18th, which was the ending here, and then we have the next day and so on. And here you see the statistic. We had 300 the whole year. That was our available range, and it will try to make the best fit for that. You can also go, for example, weekly. That's a nice one, because a lot of trading happens weekly. So here, for example, we can say 4 weeks to 1 week, and then view periods, and then you see now we have much more periods here, 49 periods, and they are weekly. So if we bring up here the days, you see it's always starting on Monday, ending on Sunday, and then we have here the out of sample also Monday through Sunday, 1 week, 7 days versus 4 weeks, 28 days, all throughout the whole period. So you can see here July 3rd was the ending of the in sample, July 4th is the beginning of the out of sample, and is July 10th, which is then the next ending as usual. And then we have here the next period, July 11th, 1 week later. Everything is shifted by 1 week until the data is exhausted, and then the last one would be the one where you see the parameters projected on the next future walk forward sample. So here you can see how the program was breaking up the periods. There's also a third one available that's using it in days, that you directly specify different days. For example, here 50 days to 10 days, in sample, out sample. So you have a lot of choices available. You can also in the period manager specify your own. For example, if you want to have a special 100-day, 10-day setup, then you say add new period position, 100 days. You can also, if you want to use weeks or runs, and then let's say 20 days out of sample, same thing here, and then you say this should be a new period, 50 versus 100 versus 10 days, and that becomes then part of the new selection here. There was our our new one. You can also produce a whole sequence of periods, because sometimes in many cases you want to actually find out which one of all those different slicing and dicing possibilities of dates works the best. So you can go to the sequence manager and then select any range of values. First you can blank out the right side, and then for example if you want to have all the weekly together, a lot of weekly, then we just go from here to here with the shift button, and then we say enter this here. Now see on the right side, which is actually the selection side, we have all the periods selected. Then we say save, and now weekly big, for example, we can have a little word here, save 23 periods, and then we can close it. You don't have to save it again. And now here in the period we have now weekly big. If you have single period, you just select one of the many possibilities. If you have any of those, then you pre-select, see 14 different periods, pre-select, there it is again, any of those period selections. If you want, you can also start fresh and then use on the bottom here a whole a sequence generator. For example, if you want to have out of samples in the range between 10 and 30% in steps of 5, and also runs between 5 and 30. That's here you can change the step here. You could say, for example, you want to have starting with 10, and then it's showing you exactly how the different values would be there. You can also edit if you want to have custom values. You can, for example, add here, and then here with this button in the middle, generate, you would select this particular sequence here based on your entries, starting with 5, ending with 30. You see 5, 10 and 30% out of sample, and using 10, 20 and 30 runs. And then that can be run sequence 2, for example. That could be a new sequence you can use. It's all just saved in a text file with all those 18 different permutations. And this is just another reminder. If you have saved already, doesn't matter. And on the bottom you always see how many permutations this would generate. The other weekly was 9, our new run was 18, and then when you have single, of course, then there's nothing, it's just one sample there. This concludes the section about the walk forward period definition. Thank you.